Welcome to the Trini Techcast. This is episode number 113, and we are recording on the 11th of May. It is Mother's Day, so obligatorily speaking, we have to tell Michaela Happy Mother's Day because Mother's Day is Women's Day now.
Bruh.
I remember.
I'm still a child myself.
No, I remember when.
Wait. How old are you? You're not a child. Are you?
20.
Are you over right?
23.
Is not a child.
Yeah, but
in your mind.
I remember
In my
when Mother's Day
mind.
you have to be walking on eggshells and tell the people who are actually mothers Happy Mother's Day because they will get offended when you tell somebody who's not a mother Happy Mother's Day because they will totally be like, you don't know what it is. You don't know the struggle. You can't tell them people Happy Mother's Day. They don't understand. And now we reach to the point where Happy Mother's Day, ladies, spiritual mothers, biological mothers, teacher mothers, all kind of things. Just be saying. So, I okay.
don't know. I don't know about all of that.
Me neither,
So-
but
So now and then WhatsApp groups, you see people being politically correct now. Just be like
Okay.
Happy Mother's Day to all the biological mothers and the whatever kind of mother that they will try to say. You didn't see that in our WhatsApp group today?
Nope. That's like
Wait.
our Ola WhatsApp group. Like what?
Nah, not Ola WhatsApp group. It was younger people. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, at least you don't have to experience that because I'm not under eggshells life. I'd be like,
Yeah.
are you a mother? Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah,
Are you
I
not a mother?
generally don't care about stuff like that.
Happy day. Happy, yeah. Glad to have you. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Yeah, so we're recording today. This first co-host is Akim there from Redbit_Tech. He's been here from episode 1, and Michaela Noel has been here from episode 100. Wow. And we're on episode 113. It's almost the middle of the year. May is usually when you reach to your 6 month analysis, reflection about what have I done for this year?
Your mid-year review.
Yeah, your mid-year review. Yeah, that would be the actual term. And I don't know if all of us do that personally, but these days, ever since I'm running a business, I have to force myself to do a mid-year review and think about, okay, did the things that I actually planned to do, did they work out? And if not, how are we going to fix it for the next 6 months? But that's on my mind. What was beyond your mind?
Yeah, I do that too, but I don't wait till the middle of the year. I do it probably every 2-3 months. Yeah. I ain't do it.
I just vibing.
Like every 2-3 months, you just sit down and be like, how was the last 2 months?
What I just do at the beginning of the year, I just have like big goals as write down. You know, and every month or every day, every month, every week, every day, I just try to do things like at least 5 tasks that would contribute towards that bigger goal.
Right.
So almost every 2-3 months, I'll just look back and see, you know, how close I am to it. Or if it have a little update in terms of, okay, you do this, you do this, you do that, that would lead towards the goal being achieved. I'll go and kind of tick it off to kind of show you're making progress on it.
All right.
Yeah.
I understand. You just do that, Michaela? Like, you're studying that?
It depends on the year. Like this year, I have just been vibing, surviving,
Vibe
like
coding.
whatever. Yeah, you know, just vibe coding. You know, vibe existing. You know, whatever happened this year happened. I just say.
Yeah. I used to be like that too. I mean, yeah, the age too where you know, I get what you say when you say you're 23 and you're still a child because you're still figuring things out kind of at that age. So, yeah.
At 20,
Yeah.
I was very glad that I started to try to build WordPress websites when I was 23 because now I'd be like, it's a good thing I tried real hard when I was younger, but at least I know some stuff now. Because it has some errors.
Trust me, right? Right now in your 20s, your mind going to be as sharp as it's going to be. Your memory, your mind.
Nah, boy, this can't be the best.
Oh yeah, it was like you're not gonna remember how to edit a .htaccess file. You're not. Only if you're like
Who says I
feel at
remember how to do that
something.
now?
Yeah, well, that's just WordPress, but no, I mean, that's web development. Nobody gonna have to fight up with them things anymore because
so
WordPress doing it automatically.
yeah, I kind of saying that. Not saying as you get older, it's gonna get worse, but in your 20s, maximize your. Cause in your 20s, it's hard almost like for me, I almost had like photographic memory. You could go and learn something and breeze through it. So use your 20s to build your foundation. So by the time reaching your 30s, 40s, you know, you could be an expert. Don't wait till your 30s, 40s to try and do all that grunt work. Do all the grunt work in your 20s.
Yeah, and then expect AI to fix it for you. Look, what do I? Oh, I installed a Jellyfin server this week.
Nice. Welcome to the club.
You know, I did this week too.
Plex out of charge.
Isn't Jellyfin much better?
So no, it don't show the episode titles properly unless it's in a folder. Like if I'm in the
here's what I'll do. I'll look for. I have a. There's some program I use to rename all my Jellyfin files. So I need to find that. Because if it's not named properly, it wouldn't show up properly. So
yeah,
I have a math renamer.
Yeah, depending on the torrent I guess. But it's cool. I could like read the name of the title and do it. It's just that the cool part is I had to install it on Linux now. So I was like, I real bad. I was like, look at me, copying bash commands and pasting it and pressing enter and then watching all sort of things happen on the screen in white writing.
Yeah.
And I like, look, I knew exactly what I was doing. Nope, I was just following the tutorial. But, and you ought to open terminal and type sudo. And after that, everything was like, so the Jellyfin server working. And that was mildly techie because I had to troubleshoot something and I had to use actual Linux command knowledge to create the access to the directories. You know, you have RRWWW or some kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
Read write. Yeah, I had to manually put the read writes on so that the server could see the folder. But yeah, that's as techie as it gets.
The chmod.
CHmod, yeah. Correct.
CHmod, yeah. For
you
me,
was going to say something? What you do?
Yeah, I installed Docker and
for real?
a container.
Docker.
And then right now I'm trying to deploy an app in the container. So a Python app.
You know how long I want to like learn Kubernetes or Docker just for the fun of it? It's easy?
Yeah. I follow in a tutorial.
Okay. Now, in following the tutorial, do you have to draw on any like critical thinking or knowledge to do something?
Yeah, it's not that straight. Well, what I'm doing right now, that not that straightforward. I'm not just doing it for fun. I'm doing it because I want to deploy something. So it have a piece of software that I want to use in like probably say a business setting, but they have a version that I could install on the machine locally first and test.
Yeah,
I want to test it first locally and then pay to deploy it in the cloud.
Okay,
so that's what I'm doing. Yeah, it's an ERP system.
Yeah.
That I'm trying to.
Okay, that's actually kind of cool. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I have a project I'm gonna try to do when school closes, and I don't know. Maybe I might put it in. I don't know. I'm not too sure. It entails porting our Android app to our website and getting it to work.
Okay. I run it on my Mac, so you know the Unix. A kind of Unix environment. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's very techie of you. Yeah, Michaela, anything techie? Just living that life.
Oh yes, I did. I did a client visit this week, and we did a pen test for them, and I escalated all the way up to just a regular a local a local admin account. It was fun.
You basically mean that you break into the people on them system and they get access locally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was fun.
Like,
it was
couldn't get into Active Directory.
No, but we didn't have enough time to test that. But we could do that sometime next week. Well, this week.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Well, the pen testers basically go to the person's desk and lift up their keyboard and see if they see a post-it. And once you see the post-it, that's the password. And sorry.
Don't need to even do all that. No, just take a little.
You know, there was a place I used to work, people used to do that and like just have it stick on the monitor. Everybody passing can pass and see it.
Yeah. I work real places with that because they just don't have time to fight it on. Especially when they had a policy in place where the password had to change every 30 days or 60 days. People used to get vexed. People used to get fully vexed. And I understand why. Alright, cool. Let's see what we have to talk about today. Two things we're speaking about. One of them is the return of free laptops in Trinidad and Tobago from September. Everybody that goes into secondary school is going to get a free laptop. And we're just going to kind of talk through what it would take for it to be, some of the experiences that we had, especially Michaela, who actually was a recipient of a free laptop, and what it would take to implement it properly, because it's a good thing to have technology in the hands of students, but what can we do or what can we suggest to make it better? And then internationally, a dead man speaks in court. They took a dead man and created an AI film to testify in a court case, and it's giving Black Mirror. It's giving heavy Black Mirror, but we'll get to that after we talk about laptops. So let's go into the laptops and see how this could flesh out.
Well, you probably made it this far in the podcast. That means you probably like technology a lot and like to at least hear us talk about technology. And that also means you may know somebody or somebody who knows somebody or somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who wants a website built or an app built or some sort of technology integrated in their business. If you want to help them out, you could send them to Make It Simple TT, send them to us, and we have business services that range from building websites to building apps to invoicing systems to ensuring that technology is used in your company, to installation of routers, buying things online. So you could check us out, 308-8799. You could check our services out, or you could go to makeitsimplett.com and see some of the things that we've done and maybe give a recommendation to our website built or something like that.
Alright, return of laptops. Let me get the article from the Newsday. Yep. Hey, twice in 1 week. No, one after the other. Two consecutive shows we had a Newsday article starring by big up Newsday. Alright, this is from Nerissa Fraser. It is upright. You've seen it. Good. Alright, the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association, Tutor, and the National Parent Teacher Association say they support the government's plan to resume giving laptops to students entering secondary school. However, they urge proper maintenance and sufficient training on how to use them. The program was first introduced during Kamala Prasad Bissasa's last stint as Prime Minister under the People's Partnership Government in 2010 to 2015. Laptops were given to all students entering secondary school in 2015. She revealed that her government distributed 95,000 laptops in total. Each laptop was valued around $4,000. And, they're going to start back from September. And, yeah, I agree that more technology in schools is not a bad thing. But the past iterations of these laptops, they had some hiccups. And me being a teacher around that exact time, I witnessed some of the hiccups firsthand. But, Michaela, you experienced the hiccups, right? Mm-hmm. I saw it from the other side where students was bringing it to me all the time and asking me to fix this and fix that and fix that. And I was like, there's a technician, but the technician have the skills to fix all of those laptops, that kind of thing. But how it was from the student side? You were first generation or second generation?
Second. Yeah, second gen. So the year group before me got the HP laptops, and from my year group onward, we got the Lenovo ThinkPads.
Yeah, all right. And the ThinkPad was it had was the specs on it. I think it had like 4 gigs of RAM. I don't think it would reach 8 gigs of RAM yet by that time. Could that would be 2011, 2012?
Oh, good, yes. No, I was 2013.
2013,
Wow.
yeah. So 2012 would have been the first time that they gave it out, I think.
Mhm.
And then 2013 would have been the second one. I think it was 4 years they were able to do it for consecutively. Because I have a text file with all the admin passwords for all 4 models.
Yeah.
How did I get
So-
the admin password?
It just had one admin password.
Nah, they had
No,
different ones
different
each time.
years. Yeah,
No,
different years
so
had different
I mean
admin
for-
passwords.
For your particular year, it just had one admin password.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For all the laptops, yeah.
Yeah, so that's one thing to improve upon.
Well,
This time
here
around.
like, I don't know. The admin password was basically, the problem was they gave you like Microsoft Office starter or some kind of thing like that.
Mhm.
And it didn't have the ability to do a lot of things or whatnot. And then they gave the technicians a Microsoft Office to install. And the technicians used to have to log in with the admin to install the new software on it because, of course, it didn't come preloaded with whatever you needed. And well, once the technician have a password, then somehow, somewhere, I end up installing the Office for some child, and I got the password. And of course, they told me, don't share this with anybody, yeah? And I was like, okay, no problem.
Yeah, but like, all right,
yeah.
so the admin password that worked in, say, a school in Tobago will be the same admin password that worked for a
Yes.
school in South. Yeah,
Mhm.
that
Yep.
Correct.
that's something to improve upon.
Mhm.
How long it take you to get the
Literally.
admin password, Michaela, as a student?
Like 2 months, 2 months max. It's always somebody got it from some friend who knows somebody, or like somebody in a year group above. It always starts off in some obscure way. A little post-it note, somebody have it, and it's like, yeah, don't tell nobody. Okay, yeah, don't tell nobody. Okay, yeah, don't tell nobody. Somebody send it on a WhatsApp chat. Don't tell nobody. And everybody gets it.
So, okay, all right, cool. That's understandable because the admin password will get out no matter what you do, right? That's basically it, right. What students used to do when they get the admin password? The first thing you're gonna
So-
try to install.
So you'd install
What
games. So games is a
what was
big
the hot
one.
game? I know from my
Ooh.
side was the hot game I used to see. Like people used to
I
be
think it
installing
was
Sims.
GTA, you know. Well,
Uh-huh.
Sims, yeah, it was the Sims. It was Sims 3 at that point in time. So
Right,
Sims
yeah,
3,
correct, yeah.
you have GTA. You had what a games, boy. What kind of all kind of random
I know
games,
people used to be
bro.
installing FIFA 2012 to play football and
Plants
and then-
vs.
That's what like the boys'
Zombies.
schools. Yeah, Plants vs. Zombies.
That wasn't working in the browser. I can't remember if it was working in the browser. or
No,
not, but-
no. So what? So it is alleged what people used to do is have a little flash drive with all the
Mm,
games, and the
yeah.
flash drive would just go around class, around the
Yeah.
class, or somebody have an older sibling who has all the games on their flash drive already, and then he just transfers over.
So definitely, like
Yeah.
one of the issues would have been if the admin password goes out, then the students have the ability to do everything that they shouldn't be doing, which is being able to go on the website. Now, one of the things I noticed with the admin password when it was done before was that they used to have certain sites that were blocked. The sites that were blocked from the host file. I don't know if you know about the host file, like on Windows. You could go on the host
Mhm.
file and you could put in a list of websites that will block. Once you get the admin password, it has students that knew how to get to the host file and remove all of the blocked websites, and they were able to go and everything, and of course watch nefarious things and whatever they
Yeah.
needed to
What
do.
other
Because
people?
That's our
Yeah,
Yeah,
next
what other
thing
people used to
improve.
do? Yeah, what other people used to
And-
do? We used to use a browser extension called Tunnel Bear. It's basically
Right.
just a VPN, and that's how you used to
Yeah.
get past everything.
mhm,
You get access
correct.
to Facebook, everything.
Yeah, so instead of using your host file, probably set up some type of firewall or some type of client on the machines to block the block the sites.
Yeah, but once I get the admin password, they will just uninstall the client.
It has some of them that, well, at least on Mac, it has some of them make it not so easy to uninstall.
I
You
mean,
can't give it
I
to no
understand.
MacBooks.
Like Windows
They get
11,
from MacBook.
Windows 11 might have something that's able to do it. Because the
Yeah.
Windows firewall on Windows 11 has a little more pep, right? As far as I know, in order to do things. But
Yeah.
the basis is security of the software is of paramount importance because it is a lot worse now. Once you get admin access to laptop, now you reach into the point where, there was 1 year, I think the fourth one or the third one, where the BIOS was locked down too. So if you try to remove the operating system and install your own operating system, the BIOS had a password, and I got the password for the BIOS too. So it would mean that students would be able to get that also. So you could have changed the operating system if you want to, or upgrade the operating system from Windows 7 to whatever, and basically have your own laptop.
So here's what I think into, right? So there's where my mind is at. We in May right now, and we're talking about all these not necessarily issues, but things that you want in place to make sure it's more robust and you get better experience and better probably value for money than the last time around. Right? We in May right now. We need the laptops for September. So that's June, July, August.
The order going to get placed in July. And whatever. Well, to get a large amount of laptops, you have to place that order in July, and you have to send the specifications of how you want it to be preloaded. Because no technician going to get all them laptops and then load all the software on. So they have to state the admin password. They have to say the software they want preloaded. They have all them kind of things. And I don't think we at that level where we're going to nail this the first time, because we will get to that's just the admin password and security part, right? But let me talk about we have 3 parts to talk about. The security of the laptop, we have to talk about the hardware maintenance, and we also have to talk about the educational aspect of it, right? So stick up in on the software that we had to put for education now. Let's just talk about the hardware, right? When you give John that laptop to carry home, what has happened when John carried that laptop home, Michaela? Tell me, like, what you remember? What has happened when John carried that laptop home? First thing
It
that happened.
depends. So some people are a little destructive. Well, not necessarily destructive intentionally, but a little clumsy. So I know some people, like their laptop, the actual hinge of the laptop would break. I know that, the laptop is for you, but especially if it's jailbroken, well, not jailbroken, but if you have the admin password and whatnot, your siblings playing games on it, everybody using the laptop but you.
Down to your father, who have a little mechanic shop, he taking that laptop and trying to hook it up to a TV to play videos and all kind of thing, and the child not getting to come to school with the laptop because the parents using it. All kind of thing was going on. All kind of things. Now, from a hardware perspective, these laptops taking real jamming. They going in book bags, they hitting the ground, all kind of things. They falling off desks. Everything that you could think of, the laptop's taking real jamming. And if there isn't like a proper maintenance log to say, all right, when you have a problem with your laptop, you have to bring it into the technician for them to check it. Some laptops will just get ghosted. And 6 months later, you ask Johnny, where your laptop? Oh, they had that mash up like 4 months ago. Johnny, why I didn't bring it back? And Johnny will be like, well, because I'd give it to a man who give it to another man to fix it. So there needs to be some sort of maintenance log of the laptop, and you have to bring it in to check it or some kind of thing, which will get to my suggestion, but I don't want to get to the suggestion yet. I'm just talking about what's happened. I see hinges break off. I see screens dangling. I see the bottom cover totally off and the fan and all them things exposed. I see people selling RAM because their laptop got like mash up. So there's like, your RAM could double. I'll sell you mine. Mine ain't good no more. I'll just sell it to you. The only thing they couldn't sell was the CPU because that's all done. But and the hard drives, well, the hard drives were mechanical hard drives. So inevitably those laptops were bound to fail because the mechanical hard drives, once they take enough lash, they will slow down to the point where nothing could happen. And I fully remember somebody in Form 6 who had their camera top for the duration of their school life, and they came in Form 6 and tried to do an IA. And I was like, your laptop just can't make it anymore, you know. Why, sir? Well, because the hard drive, the hard drive is a mechanical hard drive. You hear that clicking noise? Click, 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 click. Yeah, it ain't gonna work. So what you had to do to fix it? I say, you had to get SSD. And she went out and bought a 128 gig SSD, gave it to me. I opened up that laptop, put in the SSD, and reinstalled Windows on it. Because I had that's how I know I had to get the BIOS password. Because I had to reinstall Windows on it for her. And it started to work because the SSD was faster. But the thing is, the hardware and the wear and tear on it real hard to manage that. Real hard to manage that, especially if you're giving them to take it home. But they had to put some sort of thing in place, which my humble suggestion is to treat the laptops like a library where you have to log that, okay, you get to keep this laptop for the duration of the term. And you come at the start of the term, you log that you take it, and then you have to return it at the end of the term for some sort of accountability so that the technician will have the vacation time to fix whatever issues may be there, whatever situation or whatnot. And then when the new term start back, you come and you log in. I mean, you fill out your log or whatever it is, and you get back your laptop for your schoolwork for that term. Yes, you won't have it for the vacation time. However, I just think for accountability purposes, because this is money going to get spent. And if plenty of people go and treat it like a piece of hardware that could just get damaged, then we had to know, okay, these 10 people didn't bring back their laptop at the end of the term. Let's call their parents. Because giving you it for 365 days without any sort, where the onus is on you to come and say when something is wrong, students don't come and say when something is wrong unless it's going to affect their mark. They're just going to be like, oh, yeah.
What you think about, apart from at the end of the term, has at least once a month bring your laptop in for maintenance, check up, security scan, that kind of thing? Or you don't think that would work?
Good idea. It's a good idea, you know, but like what I found happening was that yes, it's so when it's 1 year group alone that has the laptops is fine, but then the second year group gets their laptops, the third year group gets their laptops, the fourth year group gets their laptops, and well, at least in my school, it was just one technician for the whole school. Yeah. So the number of laptops would literally double each year for the technician to handle. So that was a problem too.
Yeah, the technician had a kind of bandwidth to handle all of the problems that are going to happen.
You could always let the IT teachers help.
Don't start me.
Don't
start, man. Because
you get a little, say, IT teachers, you get a little extra stipend.
I used to spend half of my class just troubleshooting issues before we could actually start doing the work. Because they're telling you, okay, they have the laptops, tell them bring the laptops and go and use the technology to teach them. IT teachers, you should be able to do this first. And I was like, okay, cool. Everybody, go to this website, code.org/whatever game. One person can't get in because they put VPN on it and they can't get it off because the website not loading. And next person, they uninstall Chrome and they start to use
Tor.
Well, not Tor, Opera. But this was before Opera was good.
Yeah.
This was like the old Opera when Opera was using WebKit, and then this and that, and then another person has so much games that they don't have enough storage that the browser can't load. The next one, date can't change because their CMOS battery stopped working. All kind of thing. And I say all of this because I know these things. I was a technician. So I just sit down in class and I fixing things until they get to the point where they thought I was the technician, and they'd be like, sir, that thing that happened to Jane laptop there, it happened to mine. You can fix it. That wasn't pretty. That wasn't pretty at all. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't in school when the laptops get issued. So the technicians are people that get deployed by the ministry to each school.
I have no clue.
Yeah, they get deployed to the ministry, but the problem is they will put one technician to multiple schools. So your technician only in your school Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The other 2 days, Tuesday, Thursday, they by the next school. And it's just one set of spreadsheets that they have with serial numbers and all kind of thing. So they have an inventory of what the laptops are supposed to be. But there is no kind of log of things fixed,
You need
issues to deal with.
They need an asset management, some type of asset management system.
They don't
Yeah,
have the
and
money for that.
that's it. Yeah, that's the thing. So giving the laptops is cool, which is nice, but the infrastructure that I have to put in place to manage these laptops requires not just human resource, but some sort of digital resource to be able to check in and whatnot. Because yeah, I agree with you. Every month, if I had the reins, I'd be like, every month you have to bring in all laptops to show me that you didn't crack it, that you didn't put any admin password, that it's still working properly, and all them kind of cases. And if it is you not using it responsibly, I should be able to write you up and let you know that yeah, this is for educational purposes and whatever the case is, but it not being done properly, because that is what accountability is. And when it comes to students, accountability is zero on their radar. Zero. They just like, I have a free laptop and I gonna do whatever I want with it. Nobody could stop me from doing whatever the case is. But if there's a high level of accountability, then the students will be able to know, and I can't do this because I had a check-in next. It's almost like you had a check-in for parole with your ankle bracelet or some kind of thing like that. And that's just the hardware. So when the hardware starts to fail and people's laptops not working, then they're going to end up having a disparity in the class, because 10 people, their laptops working, and then the other 10, their laptops not working. So as a teacher, if I go and say, hey, all right, everybody take out your laptops, we're going to do this, and then 10 people laptops not working, what are you going to do? Say, pair up? And people start to be like, no, you can't get to use my laptop. No, don't touch it. You mash up yours, you come to mash up mine. All them kind of dynamics, I don't know if we think it through to the point where yes, it's nice to have the laptop, but there is a whole rabbit hole of weird things that could take place, especially from a teacher's perspective, and if you look at it from a student perspective.
In order to say the net will have a better net positive, I think in this case it will have a better net positive in terms of people getting exposed to technology. And but for me, I had a laptop when I was probably 10.
Yeah.
Some around that, not 10, probably 12. And I would say that's the reason why I into IT right now, because I haven't exposure to a laptop from that young age.
Net positive, I would say the net positive, it would be net positive. The fact that I have a device, the people that are enthusiastic about it, they will have a net positive. However, there will be a slew of issues that will compound over time to the point where it will become net negative. So Michaela's point was, okay, the first year group, that is 17,000 children, right? That's the amount of children that's right SEA, as far as I remember, right? Somewhere around that. So 17,000 laptops will be given out. Cool. You have the technicians in each school, they can manage that, they can manage that, whatever the case is. But for in time, that number reached 34. That was 2 times 17, right? Yeah. 34,000 laptops. The issues from the year before are going to be there that weren't dealt with. And then the next set of people now going to start within 2 months, going to have a next set of issues, and that's going to compound. And then by the time you reach the third year, you have 30,000 laptops in the system that now working. And then that's just going to bog down everybody, because by the time you reach a Form 3, you can't use it for any teaching in school, because only 5 of them come into class with a working laptop. And then the only place that you could apply technology to teaching will be Form 1, because they have the freshest ones. So it'll start off with a net positive, but in the end, it'll become a big burden to somebody, and the teachers will have a lot of issues. Because if I start in Form 1 to use technology in the classroom, and the school's mandate is, all right, everybody have laptops, so they start to use this, start to use that. It's almost like a geometry pan. If you reach to the point in maths and you start to do construction and nobody come to class with a geometry pan, you can't teach construction. You just won't be able to, because they don't have the actual hardware. And by the time you reach Form 4 and 5, only the ones that keep it in pristine condition will be working.
Yeah, you bring back some memories when you bring up that geometry.
So, all right, cool. So
I always used to lost something in it. I never used to.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, think of it as basic as that. Somebody with a geometry pan, just scale that up to a laptop where the amount of things that you could lose or the amount of things that you can mash up just grow up exponentially. So if we deal with security and we deal with hardware, we deal with the third one now, which is educational software. As a teacher, I teach IT, so I know that there's a large amount of educational software out there that requires you to pay. So nobody ain't giving you no free software and thing again to be like, oh yeah, you could use this. Yes, there are some websites that have free things, but you had to sign in. And if the whole school system doesn't have email addresses yet, I mean, you're counting on somebody using their Gmail address with their 15 gigs of storage. And if ever COVID show me something, is that children's storage does fill up like crazy when they use a normal Gmail address. Because when you use a normal Gmail address and you try to sign into Google Classroom and you try to submit an assignment, you just get a red message. And nobody know why. The reason why is because your Google Classroom is full because the teachers upload all sorts of videos and it went into your drive. And all kind of little things has been going on with these educational software that we don't even know or cater for as teachers, because there is this feeling that, okay, software works. And the three of us know software doesn't work. Software has to be configured, it has to be tested, it has to have training, it has to have buy-in, all of them different things. And by September, I don't feel like we'll have any sort of impetus or buy-in or software training or whatever it is necessary to say, all right, come to school September the 1st with your laptop. I know exactly what I'm going to do, and I know exactly what software I'm going to use, and I know exactly how my class is going to utilize this. Nope. Negative.
Yeah, I was saying is a real tight deadline.
It's not no educational impetus. Yeah, it's not no educational impetus to say teachers, software one, which is, like we say, we call it Maths for You. All maths teachers, start familiarizing yourself with Maths for You, because come September in Form 1, we're going to start to be using the syllabus. And this software called Maths for You could teach BODMAS, it could teach directed numbers, it could teach all that. No teacher between now and September going to learn that software.
Yeah, but you know, yeah, I sure both of you already know we're going to be the number one software that students going to
use.
ChatGPT.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. That's basically
so
what it's gonna be.
So all the fears all the teachers had about, you know, students using ChatGPT for SPAs and Form 5. Now they're gonna get introduced to it from Form 1.
Correct. Yeah. And we'll be grossly unprepared or underprepared.
Yeah.
Because I would give assignments to be like, all right, when all you go home, go to this website and run this thing or whatever. And students will come back and be like, so you could do it on a phone? My laptop not working. Because they probably have to use their parents' laptop or whatever it is, or they're sharing a laptop with a sibling or some kind of thing like that, right? So now I'll be told, yes, give them the assignment to do on the website because they will have laptops that are working. Why go and say when the child come back and say, so my laptop not working? I'll be like, you're carried by the technician? Yeah, but the technician say that they don't have time right now to fix it because they have 10 other laptops to fix. Okay, well, I guess I'll give you 10 out of 10 for trying because you couldn't do the assignment. And that now puts a burden on teachers to be like, okay, am I going to go 100 and try to implement this because they say I have to? Or am I going to be wary and be like, nah, you see them laptops, me touching out a 10-foot pole. And then guess what's going to happen? The parents will say now, all the children have laptops, but this school, they don't use no technology. They don't give them no homework. They don't give them nothing to do with the laptop. Because the same thing has happened with textbooks. When you buy a particular textbook and you don't use the textbook, the parents just get vexed that they pay money to buy the book and the children don't use the textbook. The laptop will end up being the same thing, that the teachers, they don't use the technology properly, but there is no
parents will be upset if the teachers don't use the laptop.
For the one,
you'll be surprised, huh?
Yeah, there are parents that that actually think this is going to enhance their child's educational life, and they care enough to follow up on, you use your laptop today, what's going on, you have assignments to do, all those different things that parents like that. I would have encountered a few
me
parents.
personally, like buying a laptop is, for me, is just a tool, so it's not going on.
Yeah, but if you had to carry the laptop in your bag, so say like people who have to like travel and thing, you're traveling with the laptop in your bag and then you're not using it in school, it don't make sense.
You know what else too, right? You have to bring that up.
Yeah.
2013 compared to now is a much different place in terms of crime and that type of thing.
People used to get a laptop thief all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
All the time.
Yeah. That was quite normal.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to say,
Thief and resell.
Because they had the admin password, yeah.
I wanted to say, remember, a couple of weeks ago, you was talking about ChatGPT and, you're giving the students, you're trying to get them to do more, to think, because you want them to get into prompt engineering.
Yeah,
so
correct, yeah.
You're going to get them questions that would make them to prompt multiple times and really think and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can't do that with 4 months.
I would argue that you could. That's how to make it fun for them. So if it's for them to get to the goal of creating something that is cool in their eyes, then they will prompt multiple times to figure out how to create an animation for a volcano. So let's say a geography teacher, right?
Yeah.
The geography teacher used to have to let them make a real volcano, and they put baking soda and Mentos. No, Coca-Cola and Mentos or some kind of thing. And they have to build a real volcano. I could see that, okay, technologically wise, sorry, that was a health hazard or whatever the case is, it's a great mess or whatnot. Okay, let me see if we could prompt them to get AI to create an animation of a particular type of volcano for them. And they will have to prompt a good few times to get the animation to do exactly what they want according with the syllabus or some kind of thing like that. Once it have a goal for younger students, you have to create a fun goal for them to learn to get to. If it's older students, yeah.
So that's your way of thinking. You think other teachers going to...
Well, of course not. No, of course not. Of course not. Other teachers just gonna be like, all they're gonna get the paper towel rolls and start to build all their work, because I'm not about this computer thing. It does take too long because they themselves have to do the thing that they're asking the students to do, to be able to demonstrate it, or whatever the case is. And that's kind of like the point I get back to. If you don't have the educational backing or the educational thrust, it ain't going on result in better education. However, the net positive will be that when you have assignments to do and when you have things to submit digitally or whatnot, at least for the first year, they will be able to do it because their laptops will be working. What happens in year 2, 3, and 4, from a teacher perspective, the expectations will definitely drop because they have no maintenance schedule, or they have no way to be sure that their laptop is still working. And I'm a concern.
So let me say you're trying to look on the bright side. Like now, if as is, they have a real short window to get the laptops and stuff, right? So you're probably going to have a system that's similar to 10, 12 years ago. You're probably going to have something similar with one tech or whatever. But from September now to next year, they'll have a year to hopefully evaluate the way they're doing things now and try to improve on it, put different better systems in place so that by the time things start to double.
But they have no money. They have no money. You know what I feel they're going to do? They're going to just buy a whole fleet of Chromebooks. And the problem is just going to get 10 times worse.
I don't think they will do that.
I will bet $10 right now it's going to be Chromebooks.
No, they can't do Chromebooks. I don't think it'll be Chromebooks.
Yeah,
the cheapest way out, bro.
I'm 50% in agreement with Michaela, because what they're going to be sold is a dream. They're going to be sold a dream that you could get these Chromebooks, and just like how the USers do it, all you have to do is sign in and you get all the information, and when you sign out, you could use another Chromebook and you could swap it because you don't have to store information on top of it or that kind of thing, because that's a dream that has been sold and the US does it. they have fleets of Chromebooks. So when your Chromebook mash up, you carry that back to the technician, and the technician will be like, here, take this one, and you sign in, and everything is back to where it was because it linked with your Google Drive. The only problem is why only 50% with Makella is because our government has a contract with Microsoft to use Microsoft Teams and email addresses from Outlook for the students. And that contract, I believe, still exists because teachers still have their Teams account. We had to use Outlook for our email. But anything we want from the ministry, you have to sign in with that email to get it done. And that is the only keep back with respect to the Chromebooks. If it is everybody else using Google Workspace, well, yeah, the Chromebooks would be the best answer because that is basically Google plan. Google's plan was like, okay, here's what we're going to sell you real cheap Chromebooks. All you have to do is pay for Google Workspace and you have a swap in, swap out thing. Nobody's laptop could get mashed up because all you have to do is just get a replacement one, log in, and it syncs via the internet. Which brings me to the last point. Wi-Fi. Schools and Wi-Fi, not friends. Not friends at all. It has certain parts of certain schools that have Wi-Fi, but if you go and tell people, bring your laptop to class, and you have to do work, first of all, infrastructure with enough routers and all that kind of thing, that is one part, and then bandwidth is the next part. Because when all of them laptops connect to the network and bro starts to play GTA and downloads a 745 megabytes update, that Wi-Fi gonna die.
Yeah, because... and then everybody in a classroom during a free period watching Netflix.
Yeah. You ought to have some sort of robust internet with a firewall on it that able to handle the traffic from a ISP level, not ISP level, from the router level of the school, which I don't think we have. Maybe we do, but the state that it was in under the last administration, as far as I know, it ain't good. It ain't good. And schools have been trying to put in their own internet to try to supplement it. And, well, when you try to put in your own internet, that's not on the standard that the ministry would have set up. And when the laptops connect to those networks, they'll have access to everything because the ministry network's supposed to have all the VPNs and all them thing on. It's going to get muddy again. But, again, net positive.
Yeah.
Barely net positive for me, though, however. Net positive, like 57 out of 100 positivity. Yeah.
I say it's a net positive for the students because you get a free laptop to play games on. Hooray! Woo!
Wow.
Bring back playing games during class. Woo! Yeah.
That is a nightmare for me.
It's a lot of students who, and this is where my thing will lie. It will have students who would not be able to otherwise afford a laptop, get access to that laptop, and then getting access to the laptop actually, inspire them or actually push them in that direction. To, so those people, I would say,
I agree. I agree. The people who can afford, they will definitely be able to benefit from it. Even though under the previous administration, you could have gotten a laptop once you submit a means test.
Like, that's what I was thinking. Why don't you just do it?
Yeah,
the means test, you could game that system, boy. You could game that system.
I just find a lot of the things is how to apply for the government, whether it be grants or whatever. At least the stuff I was looking at, there's we asking a lot, but it's like,
it's
gonna take like a whole hour. Then you had to go and apply for this, could have what this, to what this. It's like,
you had to get a pay slip, but use a daily paid and all kind of things.
And I just get fed up and be like, I ain't doing this again.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the way that they were doing it before, they were basically giving the laptops to the schools, and then the schools have to determine who gets it. But all I want is not every child to have a laptop. I want a computer lab with just furnished
I was going to say that. Why? What happened to media lab?
A proper computer lab with a lot of devices there, would make so much sense, because instead of giving each one of them, there's my extreme view. My extreme view is, instead of giving each child a laptop, give each child a laptop, but let the school have it. And when the student comes to school, they check their laptop and they start to use it and they check it out at the end of the day. But that's my extreme view, because then, of course, you would be able to go home and do homework and assignments and things. But if from a management perspective, it will be way easier if it take the library system. So that's why I reach kind of middle ground, which is do it per term. Check your laptop in at the start of the term, and at the end of the term, send it, get the technician some time to work on it, so that when you come back out the next term, they'll be able to say, okay, I'll fix your laptop. Here, you could do what you have to do. And for higher forms who have to do work over the vacation, well, you could give them the chance to check it in at the end of the term, show that it's working, and then say, okay, cool, you're getting it for this vacation period. In September, you have to check it back to show that it's still working, or if anything wrong, this is the number to call, or some kind of drama like that. There are options to do it a little more efficiently than just throw it in your book bag. Because once you throw it in your book bag, the Pandora's box opens. Yeah. All right. Well done. Yeah, well done. Tried our best to not keep it political. I only mentioned Kamala Prasad Bisasa once. Now it's twice. So I think we're safe there. The clips will be marked safe from weirdos. Talk about weirdos. It's an episode of Black Mirror where they put somebody's consciousness in an AI to talk to you. Yeah, they did it. We'll be back after this.
Right now, you're listening to Training TechCast, and more than likely, you know that I love technology a lot. But more so, I love teaching technology. I'm a CSEC IT and CAPE Computer Science and IT teacher, and I have classes that are available. So if you know anyone, any student that's looking for quality CAPE Computer Science or CSEC IT classes, you can check us out 308-8799 on WhatsApp or makeitsimplett.com/register. You can get classes, notes, recordings, IA, SBA help, everything that you could think of. That will get you that one in CSEC IT. So you can check us out.
All right. So my caption is "Dead Man Speaks in Court." This is not even a joke. This is real. This is crazy.
It's real.
All right. Arizona man shot to death in road rage returns to address his killer. Charles Pelkey died in a road rage shooting in Arizona 3 years ago, but with the help of artificial intelligence, he returned earlier this month at his killer's sentencing to deliver a victim statement himself. Family members said they used the burgeoning technology to let Mr. Pelkey use his own words to talk about the accident that took his life. While some experts argue that the unique use of AI is just another step into the future, others say it could become a slippery slope for using technology in legal cases. His family voiced recordings, videos, and pictures of Mr. Pelkey, who was 37 when he was killed, to recreate a video using AI, his sister Stacey told the BBC. So, here's what he said. To Gabriel, whatever his name is, the man who shot me, it is a shame we encountered each other that day in the circumstances, said the AI version of Mr. Pelkey in court. In another life, we probably would have been friends. Let's just stop right there. Let me just stop right there.
I want to see the video. The video there?
Ah, boy. No, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
it is. All right, yeah. Don't play it for you. Because all you just... No, man. Oh.
All right, I'm Chris Pelkey. I am a version of Chris Pelkey recreated through AI that uses my picture and my voice profile. I would like to make my own impact statement to Gabriel Horcasitas, the man who shot me. It is a shame we encountered each other that day in those circumstances. In another life, we probably could have been friends. I believe in forgiveness and in God who forgives. I always have, and I still do. Getting old is a gift that not everybody has. So embrace it and stop worrying about those wrinkles. I once played with one of those filters on your phone where you can make yourself look old. I shared it with a cousin of ours years ago. This is the best I can ever give you to what I would have looked like if I got the chance to grow old. Scary, huh? No, really. Thank you to everyone for being here. It means more than you know.
I love that AI. Thank you.
They need to up the game. I thought it would be better than that. Like the
They
voice
need to up
and
the game. They need to stop. That's what they need to do.
Exactly.
They need to not
Pause.
do it. Like, you telling me 3 years ago, you die and I hit and run, and I had to come in a courtroom and watch that? Imagine I have like PTSD, guilt, or whatever it is for the thing that I did, and then you come on
as the killer. No,
yeah,
I
as the
don't
killer,
care.
yeah.
I don't care about you. You are no more rights. If not giving you PTSD, then yeah, make it even better. Make it longer.
boy, I'm madness, boy. I'm madness. And then you have it saying things that who wrote the script?
And they say he said it. Did they say he said it? Things that he said?
Yeah, but they fed the AI things that he said.
No, like
So-
They
in
take it from a script.
terms of the script. Let me look at it. In terms of the
Would have been the
script.
family who would have written the
His
script.
family wrote the script. Oh yeah, she wrote the words. Yeah. Alright,
Yeah.
that part of it. Yeah.
So
I don't think he would ever say anything like that.
well, they're
If-
trying
if
to
the-
superimpose what they know. Yeah.
If the AI did come out and say, I hope you burn in hell and yeah, that'd be
That would be weird. Now, in what world or in what reasoning would you need to have to show the statement of the person that died? What is the point of it?
like in this case, I don't think it makes sense that the wife writes something. Like if he had gotten shot and he was in the hospital and he had a moment of consciousness and he writes something to be used in the case, something like that, then yeah, he could use it. But somebody else just coming up with something to say on his behalf and using his image, then yeah, I
Just
don't agree
now,
with that.
I trying to think it through. I trying to think through a scenario. Let me just see if I can go through it properly. So
Yeah.
you saying he barely comatose, right?
Yeah.
And he wake up from his coma for like a short period of time, and he decide to say, I really want to let my killer, let the person know that I forgive them and that it's okay and all them kind of things, right? So he writes it down, and then he goes back into the coma, right? So you have this piece of paper, and then 3 years later, you're in the court case where the person just gets sentenced or whatever for the manslaughter, whatever the case is, and the family decides to play that for him. What that going to do to me because I still had to go to jail? What? It will bring peace?
No, if
It'll bring like closure?
I would hope it make you feel bad.
You just
I
bad
think-
mine.
I think the intent was to make him feel good, to make the person feel good. Like, I forgive you. I okay,
That's
you're
what
going
it
to
is?
jail. But yeah.
Ooh.
What, earthquake?
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
I ain't feeling
Ooh.
nothing by me.
Yeah, I feel it. I
Ooh.
just feel it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it now reached by me.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is it
It's still going on, yeah.
It's still going.
rough or
Alright,
is
it's
it?
stopped now. No, wait, it's still going.
Little.
You
Yeah.
think we need to
Stop, drop, and roll. I done it
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
Daddy man from the grave.
Man, here we talking about him. Yeah.
Ah.
It was a
Okay.
good thing I'm not on social media no more because I'll be watching what's that earthquake post.
Earthquake.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, back to my point. What was I gonna say?
I'll make my earthquake post. Hold on.
You deserve to make your earthquake post. You deserve to make your At least we have it on video recorded that
Mhm.
Michaela's microphone was shaking and she didn't
Yeah,
shake it.
boy.
It was all staged. Like this video that was staged. Yeah. Usually, if somebody get convicted, the person who was offended or hurt or whatnot, they bring them back in the courtroom to face their assailant or whatever the case is, right? When they face their assailant, you are totally correct, Akeem. That one or two things you just do with our assailant. Make them feel like dirt or tell them, I forgive you. When you come out of jail, come and check me. Okay, don't come and check me, but when you come out of jail, I hope that you make yourself a good citizen or some kind of thing like that. So, I feel like they were doing that, trying to recreate that, but it was not his words. It was his voice and his likeness, which was very poorly done too, because it was just basically a picture with a mouth moving, right?
Yeah.
And then they show what he would look like when he old using AI again. That rubbing more salt in the wound. That's wildness. That's wildness. How they allow that, or why did they allow that? I want to know. Because I seen like somebody was talking after. Yeah.
I think that was probably the judge, and
Yeah, it was the
it
judge.
seemed like he liked it. So I guess it was him who allowed it.
Further on in the article, it says Arizona courts, he notes, I'm gonna show you this part because this part kind of interesting, because it looked like they're trying to integrate it. Arizona courts, he notes, already have started using AI in other ways. When the state Supreme Court issues a ruling, for example, it has an AI system that makes those rulings digestible for people. And Mr. Gibbons said because it was used without a jury present, just for a judge to decide sentencing, the technology was allowed. So there was no jury to, I don't know, view the to sway. It was just a judge because it was probably a low level case or something like that. No. So while Mr. Lehman does not question his family's intention or actions, he worries that not all uses of AI will be consistent with the victim's wishes. If we have other people doing this moving forward, are we always going to get fidelity to what the person, the victim in this case, would have wanted? So it's like the family has to decide that this is what the man wanted to say. That a real slippery slope. Yeah, that ain't cool. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. If you want to use AI in a case for somebody to have to talk, it has to be something that they actually said, a recording that they actually did, and then you just kind of recreate it with the person's likeness for, I don't know, dramatic effect or whatever the case is, but it has to be their actual words. I would say that for sure.
Well, let me say, as I say, a recording and the person die. Like you know, there's had the little sting operations, they wear a wire or whatever. You use it as evidence, and you know, the person die, but you still will use it, but you will use the likeness, maybe, but what effect you're gonna get, what difference you're gonna be hearing the recording versus seeing something, you know, that probably don't look really polished.
I will act like I know how a courtroom does work, but as far as I know from watching Suits, that ain't really gonna really gonna change how a courtroom does work. Nope. But that was Black Mirror vibes, and Sam Altman was addressing Congress this week, I think, and he was telling them, I think we are the single greatest change in humanity's history, and not everybody is ready for it. I was paraphrasing, right? Because they're real grilling them on open AI and all the things I could do and all the car do and all that kind of thing. And he just basically tell them, I think humanity is going to change drastically because of AI in the next few years, and we are not ready for it. But what my company is trying to do is trying to push it forward and all kind of thing. And he is so correct. He is so correct, because it going to change real things.
He's correct, but I don't think his company has 100% good intentions and that's trying to push it forward. Part of his part of his whole thing is probably profits, trying to make money.
Yeah, that is why half the people leave OpenAI and went and start all kind of other companies, because it's like, Sam, you're a dog without a leash. You're just running wild. We have no guidance because there's supposed to be a non-profit company and all kind of weird things was going on. So yeah, he is correct, but it's gonna change because the whole economic system gonna have to change because of AI. Because what you're paid to do, it's going to affect all economies, because it just basically real jobs gonna get lost, and now you have to figure out why you're gonna pay these people, or how you're gonna pay people, and what you're gonna pay them to do. That's heavy economics there. If I were to think about it,
jobs would be lost, but I don't know. Like, I think you'd always have people that would, as with anything, you'd always have people that ambitious, and you'll have people that quote unquote, I guess, a little more
Lazy?
lazy or whatever.
Yeah.
And the ambitious people, I think they would always find a way to to create value and
Value
get paid
for humanity.
and-
Yeah. I agree with that also. I think that there will be a whole set of new things that we'll be willing to pay for. We just didn't see it yet.
Yeah.
We just don't know what are we going to pay for if all of the things that we create right now are going to become cheaper to make. It's
And you know
real
what
hard.
too? Like, people don't necessarily have to lose jobs. Things could just get super efficient. So, like you say, you have a company and you have 10 workers, but you want to scale. And normally to scale, you need to hire, say, 100 more people. But now with AI, you could use AI with them same 10 people, make things 100 times more efficient, and scale your company with just 10 people alone. Versus
True.
you need to hire 100 people.
But then the argument that they will hit you is that the 100 people that were going to get hired will be unemployed. And
Well,
the
that's a
unemployed will go.
hypothetical. But it could be that, things that start to scale so much faster and bigger that, I don't know. But that's a kind of positive spin on it, Instead
yeah.
of
I
you have
understand.
100 company person, you send them 90 people. A smaller company had the potential to scale
Mhm.
faster and bigger with less
Yeah.
resources.
I just know that in 2030, I'm going to buy something that I never thought I would spend money on.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that thing is yet because of the way artificial intelligence or large language models
I
pushing
doing
things
it
forward.
right. I doing it
I
right
don't know.
now. I spending, like, if you had tell me 4 years ago, I'd be spending, have a monthly subscription with an AI large language model.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what? But yeah.
Like wasting money. Yeah. I
Real.
understand.
You know what
agree.
I finally bought? I finally bought Google storage.
Nah.
That 15 gigs, you living on that 15 gigs? Whee!
Yeah, boy. Because there
You
was
mean
like
like
4 of my
personal?
accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4 of my
Yeah.
accounts had maxed out. I was like, you know what? I
4?
finally
That's
4.
wild.
Yeah. I was
Wow.
like, you know what? It's about
I
time.
end up buying a 200 and put the whole family on it so everybody could take photos and back up and thing. And let it now reach like 160 or something. But that's because I took a lot of videos recently that I don't need to save. So I know when it's time for me to go and like delete all them videos that I took for somebody, I'll be able to keep about 200 gigs for 4 people. It seems to be working out. Once you don't save WhatsApp videos, if you're saving WhatsApp videos, that's a crime. That's a real crime. Auto
So,
downloading WhatsApp and saving it.
the earthquake was a 5.5.
That feel a little more than 5.5,
You see,
you know.
earthquake police. I don't know how to rate an earthquake. How you know how to rate? Or what do you know a 5.5 go and feel like? What's your measuring rod?
Were you alive? Well, I wouldn't say alive.
How much
but
is
do you,
shaking?
Makala, do you remember? Well, I was in Form 6, so that was probably around 2006. Around 2006, 2007. You were born, right?
Yeah, I was 5.
Okay. Do you remember like a really strong earthquake around that time?
No, I was 5.
Wow, you're wrong for that. You're wrong for that.
But
I was
the
on
only,
you
the
remember
only
that
ridiculous
earthquake?
earthquake. The only ridiculous earthquake I remember was the same one that happened a week before I started Form 6. That one that took out the whole Form 6 block in Holy Name. That's the worst
Like
earthquake I remember.
somewhere between 2015 to 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on a boat to Tobago, so I couldn't feel anything.
On which one? The 2006 one?
Nah, the 2017 one or
Okay.
2018 one.
You
somewhere around
remember,
there.
but you remember the 2006?
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
I was in like
home.
a 2-story building. No, 3-story building. And I heard the building shaking. I had run down the steps. It's like,
You run on yourself. So I was home on my bed and I just kind of felt it. I can't remember why, but I know it was. I think we ended up getting a crack in one of the walls home because of that. Some kind of thing. So
Yeah.
that is how I remember it. But yeah, earthquakes, nice.
No,
5.5.
they are
Thank you
not.
very much.
They are not.
The
And my
All
wife said she didn't feel anything.
The one in 2018 was a 6.9 magnitude.
yeah. That
Yeah,
thing's
that
falling off hot
was-
shelves in the grocery and
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, boy.
All right, let me wrap up there. Today we spent a lot of time talking about the laptops. Our goal was not to bash the system, but to see how we could make the system work for us. Point out some of the glaring things that we would notice if it were to be implemented this soon, and have some hope for the future. In the end, our famous quote of net positive was brandished by Akeem, and I agree. Just the net positive will turn to net negative as the years go by if proper infrastructure is not in place. I think that is where we landed.
Yeah.
Right? And the dead man speaking in court, that's the AI that was able to address the court based on a prompt from his sister, which no, I can't see anywhere that is right, but Arizona does what Arizona does. You know, some of them states, they have different laws and they try out different things and see how it works. Just to end up like California. That's all. That's what I had to try not to do. All right, that's it for today. My name is Andre Charles from at Make It Simple TT at Trinity TechCast. You see all the videos online, TikTok, Instagram. I can't remember if we even have Facebook anymore. I don't even know. No, the Instagram linked to our Facebook, maybe. But like,
Facebook.
if somebody comments on Facebook, I guarantee you, I not seeing it. We not seeing it. We not even going to bother. We probably reply to Instagram comment or TikTok comment. Maybe. Commenters just be so weird. Yeah. So at Trinity TechCast, anyway, living in the world. Yeah. All right. Akib? Yeah.
Yeah, Redbit_tech and Trinity TechCast.
Yeah, building the ERP system,
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Michaela.
Yeah, Kella_Noel on Instagram. Yeah, that's about it. And well, Trinity Cast when I'm not
Be-
out.
We hear you.
Yeah. Well, it's not
Totally understand.
carnival, so you know more fat on thing these days.
Wait,
Wow.
I miss
Wow.
Carnival Boy.
You went I see it anyway. I see that
Keisha Cole
something with
concert?
Keisha
No.
Cole and
But she sing 3
KFC
songs?
and-
I think they say she sing 3 songs. And
Yeah,
I
but
watch it price.
realistically speaking, Keisha Cole have more than 3 songs.
Yeah,
And-
apparently.
But like
Aye.
popular songs, there's only like 3 songs I really know from Keisha Cole.
This
Well-
is where the broadcast stops, because we're gonna just blatantly show that I don't even know one Keisha Cole song. That's it, y'all. Have a good week. We'll see you all next week.